Hey guys, Jason here with a word to the wise. I just want to touch on some things because things are kind of brewing, I would say, just a little bit. And I've seen a lot of information from channels that I'm not used to, I guess would be a good way of saying it. This Nelson Walters has probably one of the most interesting viewpoints I've seen on who might be the rider on the white horse. And the way he explains it as the rider bringing in a false peace, and then you have the second horse come out, the second seal, which takes peace from the world. So that first one being set up, and then the second one being taken away, and then you go into the third seal, fourth seal, fifth, and so on. And not saying that he's right, I'm just saying it's probably one of the more interesting views I've seen on it. So I'll leave a link to this. I tried to put it in my save to watch later list, and it doesn't show up. And it says, it's unavailable. So I'll try to find it and link it. You'll see it in the description if you want to check it out. Another channel I ran into is this Sling and Stone, and I've known about this guy for a while. Seems to be a very level-headed person. He kind of just he shows the information, and he's not committed to anything of it. He just says, oh, it's just, look at this, it's a very questionable thing, and I myself personally do not think that this is what they say it is. So he talks about a UN summit, but in this other Nelson Walters video, he talks about the UN also being a part of that false peace of the rider on the white horse. So I was like, okay, well, there's two things there. And this Sling and Stone talking about this, I thought it was interesting because they're having this summit meeting, this global, watch summit meeting to talk about bettering the world on the 18th. But the holiday that starts on the 15th to the 17th, just before that, and it's for that timepiece land, and they're going to be at this summit. And what is that holiday talking about? The creation of the world. So it'd be very interesting to be a fly on the wall and see if they chime in during that time, during that summit meeting, and say, well, since the creation, these things, we need to take care of it because of this reason, the creation. So, not saying that anything's going to come of it, not saying anything, it'd just be interesting to kind of just take this information in and see how it goes next month, to see that they're doing this, because you have them making the CAP pact. It'd be interesting to see if that is part of the discussion of why they need to do it, why they're looking out for the world in such a way, and how everybody needs to come into this oneness. They always seem to say that we need to kind of have this fraternity of oneness to get through this problem crisis. And it was interesting, I saw a video the other day by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was talking about, the ice cap's melting, and they're going to mix in with the seas, but they're not going to mix well enough, and that's going to cause separation and cause layering, and it's going to cause all these eco problems and die-offs and yada da 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 da. And I always think about Richie from Boston, when he would say, it's like, you go to, I live on an island. Look at where the docks were made, and look at the seawalls in the cities, and notice that they're still just the same place they were years ago, and they've never changed. And they're sitting here saying that rising sea levels and da da da. We can't. I'm not saying I know. I don't know, but it's just interesting when you hear people say that, and you go and look, and it's like, wow, yeah, I personally do not see. So I don't want to say too much because I'm sure that it's something you can't say very much on. But I just want to finish with one last thing here. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, 16, and 17. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world and loves the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, for the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever. It'll be interesting to see if people are saying we need to love the world and go right against Scripture and try to tell people they need to be a part of these systems because it is of God. There again, denying the New Testament. And that's all I'm going to say on that for right now. I'll be back. God bless. Just a word to the wise guys. I'll put links in the descriptions for those 2 videos.